Do you ever realize how much energy we waste trying to explain ourselves to people who don't really care? Just think for a second how many times you've tried to defend your choices, explain your goals, or waited for someone to approve what you already wanted to do. Let me tell you something. Every moment you use trying to prove your worth to others is time you're taking away from your own progress. It's time to stop doing that. When you turn your attention inward, everything in your life starts to shift. Why? Because real success doesn't come from talking about what you plan to do. It doesn't come from trying to persuade people that you can do it. It comes from effort. It comes from commitment. It comes from showing up for yourself day after day when no one is there to cheer you on. Most people don't reach what they want in life because they get too distracted. They allow the noise around them to stop their growth. They spend hours on social media comparing their life to someone else's best moments. They worry about what friends or family will say if they choose a different direction. They waste energy arguing with people who don't even care about their well-being. And by the end of the day, they're tired, frustrated, and still stuck in the same place. But here's the truth. When you remove the distractions, when you stop explaining and just pay attention to what actually matters, that when you become unstoppable, because real progress happens quietly, it grows in the early hours when others are still sleeping, it builds in the times you choose to work instead of seeking praise. It grows when you keep going even when there's no applause. You don't need a crowd. You don't need approval. What you really need is consistency. The more you work on yourself, your growth, your learning, your self-control, the more everything else begins to fall into place. You begin to pull in better chances. You start to make better choices. You feel more sure of yourself, not because someone else told you so, but because your own actions proved it to you. And to be clear, this doesn't mean cutting off everyone or hiding away. It means taking care of your energy. It means being smart about where you put your time and focus. It means knowing that not every conversation needs your reply, not every thought needs your energy, and not every person should have access to your attention. When you learn to protect your focus, you take control of your future. And the best part is when you work silently and stop telling everyone your plans, your results speak for themselves. People will begin to notice. They'll ask how you did it. They see your success and you won't need to say anything. Your actions will do the talking. So here's the challenge. Stop talking about what you plan to do. Stop worrying about people's opinions. Stop waiting for someone to say it's okay. Just get to work. Focus on you, show up every day, and believe that when you do, everything will come together. You've got this. Now go make it real. What you pay attention to grows. If you focus on becoming better, learning more, and building discipline, your life changes. It's really that simple. Your energy is one of your strongest powers. And most people don't even understand how much control they actually have. Every thought you have, every action you take, every decision you make. It all shapes your future. But the problem is most people spend their energy in all the wrong areas. They focus on what's lacking instead of what's possible. They focus on things that distract instead of things that build. They care more about what others think instead of their own journey. And then they're confused about why nothing is moving forward. The truth is your life reflects what you give your energy to. If you keep feeding your mind with bad thoughts, if you spend time with the wrong people, if you waste hours on things that don't help you, then your life will show that. But if you start shifting that energy into better habits, learning and working on being your best self, then your whole world begins to shift. And this isn't just a feel-good idea, it's backed by science. Your brain is designed to find more of what you pay attention to. It's called the reticular activating system. It filters what you notice based on your main thoughts. Have you ever decided to buy something and suddenly started seeing it everywhere? That's your brain working. Now, think what would happen if you trained your mind to see chances instead of limits. Imagine if you made it a habit to spot solutions instead of problems. You'd begin to attract what you truly want instead of just accepting what life gives you. The issue is, most people don't take charge of where their energy goes. They let the world control them instead of setting the tone themselves. They wake up and check their phone, letting the news, social media, and others control how they feel. They get lost in drama, bad vibes, and useless distractions, and then wonder why they feel tired. Here's the truth. Your energy is your job to manage. No one else is going to protect it for you. If you really want change, you have to choose what you allow into your mind and life. That means drawing lines. That means saying no to things that don't move you forward. It means spending time with people who lift you instead of weighing you down. It means swapping complaining for doing, trading excuses for discipline, and replacing distractions with clear focus. When you decide to do that, when you feed your brain the right stuff and your day with solid habits, you start to see change. And once those results show up, your whole mindset starts to shift. You'll notice that the things that used to stress you out don't matter anymore. The negativity that once pulled you down won't affect you. The people who doubted you become irrelevant, not because the world changed, but because you did. You trained your focus on what truly matters. And more focused, your reality starts to match. That this is why real success isn't about luck. It's about being in line. It's making sure your actions, your attitude, and your energy all support the life you want to live. You don't need to have all the answers. You don't need every step planned out, but you do need to choose carefully where you put your attention, because in the end, you're either growing your future or feeding your fears. So ask yourself, what are you choosing to focus on? Because that choice, it's shaping your entire life, whether you see it or not. Distractions kill growth. It's one of the main reasons people stay stuck for years, not because they lack skill, not because they aren't smart, but because they keep getting caught up in things that don't matter. Every time you get pulled into negative thoughts, opinions, or drama, you're taking time and energy away from your dreams. And the worst part is, most people don't even realize it. Think about it. How much time do you spend watching other people online instead of working on your goals? How often do you let someone else's bad mood throw you off? How many times have you planned to do something important and let something small pull you away? That's what distractions do. They keep you from your path. And the more you let them in, the harder it becomes to stay focused. And let's be honest, distractions don't always look like problems. Sometimes they look like something urgent but aren't really valuable. An argument you didn't need to have, a meeting that didn't matter, a social event you weren't excited about. These small things build up and end up being the reason you're not moving ahead. Because every second you give to something that doesn't help your dreams is a second you could have used to move closer to them. This is why the most successful people protect their time. They don't let small things control their schedule. They don't give their energy to things that don't matter. They guard their focus because they know that without it, nothing great happens. And you need to start thinking the same way. If you want to do something meaningful in life, you can't let distractions run your day. You have to be in charge of your surroundings, your time, and your mind. One of the biggest distractions is what other people think. It's amazing how much power we give to their opinions. We avoid big steps because we're scared of judgment. We hold back on dreams because we fear what others might say. But here's the truth. People are going to judge you no matter what choices you make. So why not choose what brings you joy? Why not focus on creating the life you truly desire instead of living in fear of what others might think? The moment you stop worrying about opinions that hold no real value, you free your mind to concentrate on what truly counts. And when you do that, things begin to shift. You start getting more done. You begin to see real improvement. You grow more confident, not because someone praised you, but because you prove to yourself that you can do it. That's the strength of removing distractions. It gives you the space to grow into the person you were always meant to be. But here's the thing, this kind of change doesn't happen by mistake. You have to make it happen on purpose. That means putting limits in place. It means saying no more often. It means building a daily schedule that puts your goals first above anything else. It means letting go of anything that slows you down, whether that's toxic people, poor routines, or time-wasting habits. Because when it comes down to it, success isn't only about effort. It's about working wisely. And working wisely means guarding your focus, no matter what. So, if you feel stuck, if you're annoyed because you're not where you want to be, ask yourself this: where is your energy going? Are you spending it on things that help you grow, or are you using it up on distractions that keep you in the same place? Because the moment you start taking your focus seriously, everything begins to change. You begin moving forward, you begin seeing progress, you begin to understand how much you can really do once you stop letting distractions take over your life. And the best part, once you get the hang of it, it becomes second nature. Focus turns into your default mode. Growth becomes your normal routine, and the things that used to throw you off track stop having any power over you because you've trained your mind to stay locked in on what's truly important. So, don't let distractions take away your future. Guard your time, guard your energy, and watch how quickly your life improves. Success isn't made in one huge leap. It comes from small, steady actions repeated every single day. It's easy to believe that one major event will fix it all. That one big break, one lucky moment, or one perfect situation will suddenly change everything. But that's not how things work. The real key to success is the small improvements made over time. The little things you do in private, the daily routines that seem minor, are actually the ones that create big changes later on. Think about this. Every choice you make is either pulling you forward or dragging you back. Waking up early to work on your dream, that's progress. Reading a book instead of endlessly scrolling, that's progress. Choosing to be disciplined instead of making excuses, that's progress. And while these actions may feel unimportant at the time, when you repeat them daily, they begin to build. Most people never reach success because they don't see the value in staying consistent. They start strong, but when results don't come fast, they stop. They push hard for a few days, but when nothing changes, they return to old habits. What they don't understand is that real success is a product of repetition. It's about showing up even on the tough days. It's about staying committed when no one is watching, because results don't come right away, but that doesn't mean they aren't building up. Think of it like planting something. You don't plant a seed today and expect a tree by tomorrow. You water it, take care of it, and let time do its work. At first it seems like nothing's changing, but deep down the roots are growing, getting stronger, getting ready for the moment they'll rise through the soil. That's how success grows. Every time you move even a little toward your dream, you're laying a stronger base. You might not notice the results at first, but if you keep going, they will appear. The problem is, most people stop too early. They lose patience when they don't see quick wins. They tell themselves it's not working. But the truth is, everything you do adds up. If you keep learning, keep improving, even in small amounts, you're building a path to success. The people who reach their goals aren't the ones who made one big move. They are the ones who didn't quit when things got hard. And here's the powerful part. Once you start seeing results, momentum begins to build. When you create one helpful habit, it leads to more. When you see progress, it gives you the drive to continue. Success feeds on itself, but it all begins with those daily choices. That's why it's crucial to be mindful of your routines. What you do every day matters more than you realize. If you want to be in better shape, it's not about one tough workout, it's about moving your body daily. If you want more success, it's not about one big leap, it's about learning and improving all the time. If you want real confidence, it's not about waiting for praise, it's about proving your worth through steady action. The best thing is, you don't have to wait to begin, you don't need everything to be perfect, and you don't need permission from anyone. You just have to decide to take one small step every day that brings you closer to what you want. And if you stay consistent, if you believe in the process and keep moving, even when it feels pointless, one day you look back and realize everything is different. That's the strength of steady self-growth. It's not about one major move. It's about making smart, small decisions every single day. Because if you do that, success becomes not just possible, but certain. Confidence doesn't come from approval. It doesn't come from likes or kind words or outside praise. It doesn't come from waiting for someone else to say you're enough. Confidence grows from doing, from proving to yourself through action that you are capable. The more you take action, the less you depend on others to feel good about yourself. Many believe confidence is something you either have or don't have, but that's not how it works. Confidence is built. It's a skill like any other. And like every skill, it gets stronger with practice. You don't gain confidence by thinking about action. You gain it by taking action, by stepping up to challenges even when you're nervous. Here's the truth. If you're always waiting for someone to give you the green light, you'll never do the big things. Because not everyone will support you, not everyone will see your vision, and if you let that hold you back, you'll stay small, you'll hold yourself down, you'll fit into a version of life that feels safe but leaves you unsatisfied. Think about the most confident people you've met. What do they have in common? It's not that they never feel fear. It's not that they always know what they're doing. It's that they trust themselves enough to move forward. Even when they're unsure, they don't waste time waiting for approval. They don't sit and wonder what others will think. They just go for it, and because they act, they collect proof. Proof they can manage challenges, proof they can learn, and that proof that they can succeed. That's the secret. Confidence isn't about feeling fully ready. It's about acting before you feel ready. Most people wait until everything feels right, but that time never really comes. There will always be doubts. There will always be things you don't know. But if you let that stop you, you'll never begin. The only way to build real confidence is to take the first step. Before you feel ready, and believe you'll figure it out along the way. And here's the thing, once you begin acting, your need for others' approval starts to fade. When you show yourself what you're capable of, you no longer crave others' praise. You stop asking for permission because you've already given it to yourself. That's when your confidence becomes real. Because it's not based on opinions, it's based on what you've experienced. This is why people who take risks, who step out of comfort, who test themselves regularly, seem so sure of themselves. It's not because they never feel fear, it's because they have proof that they can succeed. They've done it before and believe they can do it again. The best part is you don't have to be the most skilled, the smartest, or the most prepared person in the room. You just need to be the one who's willing to act. Because confidence doesn't wait for you to feel ready. It comes from doing. Every time you face something hard, every time you push past fear, Every time you move forward despite doubt, you grow stronger in your confidence. So if you've been waiting for everything to be perfect, stop. If you've been holding back because you fear judgment, let it go. If you've been seeking someone to approve your dreams, know that the only approval you truly need is your own confidence. Isn't about knowing every answer. It's about believing in yourself enough to take the next step, even when you can't see when you don't have every answer, and when you start living that way, when you stop waiting and begin acting, everything begins to shift. You understand that you don't need approval, you don't need praise. You just need to keep showing up for yourself again and again until confidence becomes your normal, and once that happens, nobody can hold you back. Patience and self-control are life changers. They make the difference between people who achieve and people who give up too early. The truth is, most people never reach their goals. Not because they can't, not because they lack ability, but because they don't have the patience to stick with it. They want quick results, they hope for fast and simple success, and when that doesn't happen, they quit. But here's what they don't understand. Anything that truly matters takes time. Every successful person you look up to, every person who has done something big, shares one thing. They stayed focused even when things were tough. They didn't stop when it got uncomfortable. They didn't run away. Sometimes because the results weren't instant, they knew that real improvement takes time, and the only way to reach it is to stay consistent. This is where many people slip. They begin full of energy, but the moment they hit a wall, they start doubting. They tell themselves that if it's not working right away, then maybe it's not for them. But the truth is, the wait between your hard work and your results is natural. Is how the journey works, is meant to take time. And that's why patience is powerful. Think of a seed. You place it in the dirt, you water it, you give it light, but for weeks or maybe months, it seems like nothing is changing, but under the ground, it's growing, roots are spreading, the base is getting strong, and then suddenly one day, the plant breaks through the earth. That's exactly how real progress happens. Just because you can't see it, doesn't mean it's not coming. But most people don't wait that long. They give up before they see that first sign. And that's why discipline matters so much. Discipline is what keeps you moving when motivation fades. Because let's face it, there will be days when you don't feel like trying. There will be days when you question yourself, when things seem too slow, when you ask yourself if this is even worth it. But discipline is choosing to move forward anyway. It's about doing the work even when you don't feel excited. It's about showing up not because you feel inspired, but because you promised yourself you would. And here's the truth. Most people keep chasing motivation, but what they truly need is discipline. Motivation comes and goes. It's not stable, but discipline, that's what builds true success. It's getting out of bed when sleep sounds better. It's giving your best when no one is watching. It's staying locked in, even when distractions try to take over. And when you mix discipline with patience, that's when everything begins to come together. Because when you believe in the process, when you realize results don't appear instantly, you stop feeling stressed, you stop quitting too early, you stop letting small problems shake your long-term dream. Most people believe they can do a lot in 1 week, but forget how much they can achieve in 1 year. They get upset when progress isn't fast, but they miss the chance to see what's possible if they just kept going, day after day. The truth is, small, steady actions repeated over time create huge success. So if you feel stuck, if you're wondering whether you're on the right road, ask yourself, are you giving it enough time? Are you staying committed even when things are hard? Are you standing by yourself every single day, even when there's no visible change? Because if the answer is yes, then keep going. Your moment is coming. The results will show, but only if you stay patient and committed long enough to reach them. The people who win in life aren't always the smartest or most gifted. They are the ones who keep going. They are the ones who show up again and again, believing that their hard work will pay off. And that's what you must do. Because if you can learn patience and self-control, there's nothing that can hold you back. Success doesn't need to be loud. It doesn't need applause. It doesn't need you to tell the world everything you're doing. Actually, the strongest thing you can do is stay quiet and let your results speak too. Many people spend energy talking about what they will do instead of actually doing it. They get stuck trying to prove themselves to others, looking for attention, hoping for cheers. But the truth is, true success is built in the quiet moments, when no one is looking, when no one is cheering, when it's just you and your effort. The issue with always talking about your plans is it tricks your mind into thinking you've done something. Science shows that. When you speak your goals out loud, your brain gets a small reward, the same feeling as if you had achieved something. This gives a false sense of progress. You feel good but haven't done the work yet. That's why so many people make big promises but never act on them. They already got the validation they were looking for before they even began. But when you keep things to yourself, when you put your focus on action, not attention, that's when real change begins, because now you're not wasting time explaining your plans. You're not asking others for approval. You're not waiting for someone to say it's okay. You're just doing what needs to be done, and slowly that builds power. Think about the most successful people you know. They don't spend time telling the world every step they're taking. They don't need to prove themselves with words. They just show up. They do the work and they let their results tell the story. That's the mindset you need. Because when you're really serious about your growth, you don't care about opinions. You're too busy becoming who you were meant to be. Another reason silence is so strong is that it saves your energy. Every time you share your dreams with the wrong people, you risk facing negativity, doubt, and judgment. Not everyone is going to cheer for you. Not everyone will get your vision. And if you're not careful, their words can make you question yourself. That's why it's smarter to hold your goals close and let your effort speak. When you stay quiet, you stay strong. You don't let others affect your thinking. But this isn't only about being silent. It's about using all your energy for your growth, instead of being distracted by other people's paths. Too many get lost in comparison, always watching what others are doing, checking where they stand compared to someone else. But once you turn your focus inward, everything begins to change, because now you're not trying to match anyone. You're not chasing fads. You're just working on becoming the best you. And here's the great part. When you stay focused on you, when you shut out the noise, when you quietly stay consistent, everything starts to align. The right chances come your way. You begin to see real change. You feel stronger, not because someone said you're worthy, but because you proved it to yourself. Success isn't about being the loudest. It's about being the most steady. It's about showing up no matter who's watching. It's about staying strong even when there's no one clapping. Because when you stop talking, stop explaining, and touch focus on growing, it's only a matter of time before everyone sees it. And when that happens, you won't have to say anything. Your progress will say it all.